Hello, everyone. Ginny and I have both been traveling out, making contact, doing CE5, spending nights awake, looking at the stars and feeling what's around us. So I am in Europe right now, and I've just spent a few days in the Netherlands on a private, very small CE5. We rented an Airbnb. There were 4 of us. I only knew one other person. The other 2, it was serendipity. Somebody told me about somebody else and so on, and we connected. And we had an absolutely terrific time. We had sensations and views of shadows and connections of beings walking by right next to us. So this is the kind of mission that is not necessarily for everyone, because we need to overcome our fears and feel really, really comfortable, because as long as we are in good resonance, there's nothing to fear. We meet whatever we put out. So yes, so that's why this is more of a recording. So what you'll see is first an interview with one of the participants who was on the CE5 with me. He's an absolutely intriguing, wonderful, passionate man with a mission. His name is Ioan Tical. He is originally from Romania, now lives in Belgium and does a lot of CE5 contact work. So please listen to his story. And after his story, you'll have GINNY Jones from New Zealand telling us about her experiences and about her investigations into consciousness. Enjoy the recording. Ioan.
Yes. Hello.
Hi. Tell me your story.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot to say. Where should I start? Small ones or important ones?
Start with your first experience.
Wow, it's far back away. I was a little kid. I was a little small child, about 10 years old, and walking down the street on a Friday night, I had a UFO visitation. Let's say I saw the light from UFO coming down and just moving around. I said, "Oh, okay." I didn't know what a UFO is, but I could, okay, interesting. I went upstairs to my mother. What is that? She said, "Raining in the heaven."
Raining in the heaven.
Raining in the heaven. Yeah, because it was an awkward illumination, like a lantern, but upside down, and moving from a fixed point from above, which it was in a garden, no trees, nothing. It was really high up.
Was
That
it
was
in
the first one.
Was it in the garden, your house, your
In
home?
the garden of a good friend of mine.
A friend.
While I was walking home. And from that night, like, my mind exploded. I mean, I was going every time at night fascinated by that thing. And start to question all of these things. And I was already naturally, I think, astral projection. I was doing stuff, going some places, and I was really excited before going to bed. Oh, when I'm going to travel now? No? Now I'm going to go there, I'm going to go there.
Okay, hold on. So you had that experience, real life, not astral projection.
No, real
There was
life,
real
yeah.
life in the garden of your friend.
Yeah,
And that happened once?
only once, yeah.
Only once. But then you say it happened.
Something magic happened, yeah. Something magic happened. My mind kind of exploded.
I see.
It's part of a lot of questions, a lot of curiosity, and because the innocent mind of a child is not blocked and not filtered by anything. It was so easy to travel. I was really going to places. I was really excited. I was like really going in every night, going to a trip. I was really wow.
Like a trip, were you then also seeing UFOs and traveling with them? What kind of
No,
trips?
no. So it started simple with me looking, going places around the planet, seeing people, but nothing out of the ordinary. The out of the ordinary thing was just the fact that I was going to sleep with intention. Now I'm going to travel. Where I'm going to go now? You know, I was really, wow, I was waiting. Wow, okay. So every time I was going to sleep, I think I was meditating, and for an hour at least, I was so enjoying the first steps of begins sleeping time or something. Yeah, yeah. It's hard to explain.
And why do you think, was there a message in what you experienced?
Well, not experience, but it felt so natural. Mm, It was like, oh wow. For me, I took it as an update because I start into looking into putting questions, trying to find out some certain things, and yeah, I kind of developed so many years. I never walked away from that experience. That changed me in a positive way, an amazing way. How can I say? Yeah, I was. I'm so thankful that they just show themselves in reality to, and I think they do that because the way how a kid reacts to such an encounter is much more different than a human being. A kid has much more easy capabilities to filter it out and not to be scared of unknown because he doesn't have the filters, doesn't have the, all the brainwashed mechanism installed already in him. So I do think I've heard stories getting into the kid's life. Yeah.
Did you feel when you had that experience that there was a purpose specifically meant for you?
Or I felt directly connected. I felt like, wow, this is me. This is something that it felt so natural. It's like I would have found myself back again. I was a little boy. You don't know this stuff, but at that time when you start thinking about this and you're so small, if we all kids could have that, imagine how much we can explode in human consciousness. Yeah, it was. I believe this was the purpose. That's why I'm here.
The purpose that you're doing all this C5
Yeah,
contact work with people.
yeah, the workshop. Yeah.
So where was this?
So I'm originally coming from Romania, from the north, on the border with Ukraine. Uh, I was in the community. My parents was really they were important in the community, and I was doing really good at school. I was appreciated by the teachers and the community. Why me? Why me? Why anybody else? I think they do also intermediate somebody else, but I decided to engage, to get it further out, to find out more. And it felt so natural. All the CE5 encounters that I had, it felt so natural. I'm so thankful and so amazed. And my mind is not blocked, and it's not. I've seen so many UFOs fully materialized. I mean, and this is by the technique that you develop throughout time and progress. Yeah.
Was there anybody you could talk with as a child?
Everybody laughed at me. Everybody laughed at me. I didn't care. I really didn't care. My experience was fantastic. I didn't care what people think, they say. That was the truth. Don't care what anybody else thinks. Yeah, okay, it's disappointing that nobody believes you. But now I have this C5 workshop, and so many people work together with me. It kind of brought me here.
Tell me what you do.
So I do regular events on the field with people that they contact me through Facebook, Instagram. So through social media, they contacted me. But before doing official C5 workshop, I kind of had to build up my own experience. Right? I had to build the consciousness, I had to build the knowledge, the interaction, the physical interactions with these entities to be really established. And because through this process, I also need to talk with God, with the divine mind, and it answered me in a so precise way. I discovered that we actually can manipulate reality. So I'm working with, we have like plus 30 people and still growing. We could do regular C5 events on the field. About 5 to 8 people regularly come on the field. When there are less people, I call them at my place. I put a fire, chairs, snacks, and it feels so good because this I feel connected with these people. They come out of curiosity, and I have so much knowledge to give them. When I was talking within the CE5 workshop with the people, they kind of flashed backwards behind them like a confirmation that what I'm saying is true. And not it also people saw it. I see. Okay, well, that's the truth.
And where is it that you do these workshops?
So I do them in Belgium. In Belgium, it's in the Flanders side. So I bought a house in Ninov. So in the area there, we have enough place to organize these events. We use lasers, walkie-talkies, cameras, all kind of stuff. I bring them, start using them.
And you do like evening events.
Yeah, yeah, only evening events. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I try
And
to also broadcast some events, and surprisingly, they came.
tell me about your conversation with God.
Oh wow, that's a deep one. It's not only one, few ones, but the specific one that so the last experience that I had with him, I was a bit upset. Well, no, let me begin with the first one because we started like this. I was disappointed when before the C5. Before I was engaging into CE5, into the knowledge and reading into books and everything, I kind of asked. I was disappointed. I was seeing some bad images out of the world of hungry kids and famine and people suffering, and I'm so sensible and
Sensitive. Yeah.
sensitive, and it hurts when I see that. And I was demanding, "What are you doing? What or why are these people suffering? What is happening? This is not normal. Is it true? Do you really exist? I mean, how come you don't do anything? These people are suffering." I was in deep pain for a straight day. I mean, from the morning I was always meditating on on those things, and I asked him, "Show me, show yourself, show me that you exist. Interact with me. Let's see you exist." And I was just at the end of my meditation process. I just was cold, went outside on the terrace, and I saw a black triangle with the cockpit like 2 3 meters away from me. I was waiting for the eagle to move his wings, but no wings moved. It was like, and I saw straight lines. I saw cockpit. That was my first real UFO.
What
When I
size?
when I was talking with God.
What size was it?
Oh, we can. No human could be inside. That's no human. But the cockpit, I believe entities were the size of a hand,
Oh, okay.
or maybe 2 hands, not big. All the UFOs that I've seen fully materialized were small in size. And I know it's a small entity because I've seen doors on the craft. A specific, it was a specific moment when I asked, "I do want to see you because I've seen you a lot. I want to hear you also." And just came beeping, beep, 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 beep. And I thought, what the heck? I can describe every detail on the hieroglyphs, signs, and propulsion system and the background on the side. I said, oh, wow. But from this moment now, I need witnesses. So that's how I started the C5 workshop, because I wanted to show the people what I've been able to do. I was so excited. I wanted to share with everybody. So we started the C5 workshop a little bit. But the second discussion with God was when I was in deep. We had like a problems in my relationship because she was working a lot, and we didn't have time to connect and had time to discuss. And because she was so stressed, she kind of pushed me away, and it felt so bad. But it was a longer period that it kind of built up. And at the end, I said, God, if you're messing with me, is that really you? Are you going to mess with my life in this way? A sincere opening to Him. In that day, that night, my wife received a phone call at 5 a.m. in the morning, do not come to work. So I can come from the night shift from the weekend and meet with her Monday morning, 4 5 a.m. And she was there on the couch waiting. What are you doing? Well, I wasn't called at work. I was called off. I said to stay at home. Why? What happened? Oh, somebody's sick. They just called me to stay at home. I was surprised because the day before I had this deep discussion with God. I mean, are you really gonna try to? What are you trying to do with me? Are you messing me up? She was home in a few hours afterwards, free from everything, and that is the point when I could actually discuss with her and advance in our relationship. But it was only because she didn't want to work, because she was called off at home at 4 a.m. in the morning. You do not come to work. And at 10 p.m. I was talking with God, do something. That was a confirmation for me that a second time this divine existence exists and is working with you. But you have to connect with the deepest level, like it's really in front of you, existing. It touches, it moves you, and it helps you evolve. Yeah, I have so much trust in me that now God knows me and knows what I can do. And I asked, well, that's C5. I want to see your friends. I want to see your friend because I'm pretty sure. I mean, we're not the only one existing here, and God, universal God, is everywhere in all the cosmos. So I want to see his friends. So that's why I started the C5 workshop, and I got all the encounters, and it's a deep connection. I use the principle of how Christ talked with God. I use the same principle.
How Christ talked with God.
Yeah. It's the same. I believe it's the same principle like how you talk with these entities. And if you know that they are there and listening to you, you're gonna talk so freely, so confident, so energetic, and make that energy exchange that they kind of feel attracted to it. They're gonna feel obliged to intervene, to come and, okay, I understand. Now let's 3 UFOs here, 1 UFO there, but I saw too much, bro. I have to be sure. I want to see you. I want to hear you also. And then they, boop, 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 boop. Okay, now I need witnesses. Now I'm going to start the school. So, talking with God, having these entities, even in my bedroom, I was so innocent when I started all this. I was so into it, and I knew things were gonna happen. I was curious to find out how they were happening because I knew this is gonna happen. And at a certain moment, I was in the bedroom trying to connect face to face with them, and I swear to God, I felt not long. Not long after I begin the meditation, I felt on the left shoulder like something pulling me. So, okay, this is my wife, Anna. Please let me. I'm meditating. Leave me alone. It's not. Wait a second. Anna is not home. No, my wife is Anna. Anna is not home. Nobody is home. Where is, is that you there? We're referring to ETs. And then a second one. Well, during holding this one, I had the second one. Hey, we're here. I freaked out. I freaked out. All the meditation while I crushed on the like a rock on the bed. It worked so good because I went in it with so much innocence. I was like connecting with an ET and his kid, because the first one was a heavy one, like, yeah, I'm here, But hey, what's happening here? So another tiny, like a small, not hey, but I felt that pull, twice. I crashed.
Was it the little ones that you saw in the small spacecrafts? Or what kind of.
I don't think so because the ones that are in the craft, they're so small, they're size of a hand. They're not big. I don't think they can interact with you physically. They're gonna run away.
And those crafts came right past you, like a few meters?
Upon me, I could, if I would have jumped, I would be able to catch them. Not one, but almost all of them. So close. When I did it with my daughter, she's 7 years old. I kind of build up the momentum. So I explained to her, it's possible to call spaceships. Do you want to see a spaceship? What? Yeah, spaceship here. So I explained to her, and she was excited about it for a period of. So I let her digest. We were talking about it, and the moment we did it, 19 minutes later, three UFOs, like the one who beeped, boop, 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 three of them, because I recognized the propulsion system underneath the craft, the same one, black triangle, black circle, black circle, and white point beneath the crust of the craft. So I was staying here with my daughter, and out of the nothing, it just like a raindrop blooped into existence. I saw the perfect moment when they materialized. It was so from a tiny point, it like opened up, and like while it was opening up, all those three UFOs coming, because I saw the first UFO big, and then little smaller, and then another one even smaller, but coming out of my terrace. I mean, from the wall. It was like a raindrop. You put a raindrop in the water, and like poof, and you have this effect. That was the effect that I saw, bloop him into existence, and then. Oh, what the heck?
So basically coming out of nowhere, plopping into our reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how they do it, because they transcend through objects from this quantum field that we don't see. They exist. They use it how somehow. I'm trying to read, Neil Armstrong theories about time, space, and time bending, and it feels like I kind of start to understand how they are using it. It's all about frequencies. Frequencies. They use the frequency of that specific place. They can just transcend through it. It's stuff.
Tell me more about. So you had two conversations with God. Was there another conversation?
So deeply that I recognize now. These are two most deeply in which he intervened right away.
Right. And when you say you spoke like Christ spoke to God.
Yeah, so I use the same technique because I know God was answering to him. And because we say Christ consciousness, I like to do the same thing as he did, talking with so much confidence that the Father is listening. Of course, he knew much more than me, but I tried to learn his techniques, how he talks so freely, easily, and openly with God, knowing that he's going to respond. That's the technique I use in CE5. I know they're going to respond. So I'm trying to do my best for specific details, to ask them specific details, but only in order to progress. They're not going to come anytime. But when they see it important and fit for progress, they will intervene. So is it as if it's very important for you, which in your mind, if I do this, then I'm going to do that and that and that. And they know your thoughts. I'm happy because I can work with them. And if they consider that it's an important point of interaction, a very important moment that we as a human species could advance, they will definitely intervene. Yeah. If you want to put yourself in a position where you want to evolve, they will definitely come. And analyze you, see who you are, see your persistence, see your, yeah, the way how you do it. And because we humans are all the same, but they need us in order to create freedom on this planet. Yeah, it's much more than freedom, but you cannot evolve into space if you do not have friends in space. You cannot go with weapons. And I understand we have to be militarized in a way because we have to protect this sector of the galaxy, but we have to do it with the right people leading, not the people that lead 20 years ago.
So let's just go over that again so that people can understand how they need to speak to God or Christ consciousness. You need to speak like
It's really,
he's going to answer.
yeah,
You've got to expect an answer, like he's really there.
I'm there and I know he's gonna answer. You have to go in there and know that he's going to answer. You have to know from before you start that it's so deep, it's so connecting. Like that's nothing else above that or beneath that. That's that singularity point where you connect perfectly in an harmonious way with the cosmos, with divine entity. And it can happen in bad moments, it can happen in good moments. And he will intervene if it sees necessary. Yeah.
And the second point was that you've got to be very determined or in the way you speak, or how would you phrase that?
So it's exactly as I go talk to a friend. I know that friend exists at that house it is, so it's my neighbor. I'm going to go talk to him and solve the problem. It's the same principle I use with God. I don't use it all the time because I have to evolve on my own. But when it's really important and I cannot get through it, he will intervene because I'm going to him and I said, what do we do now?
So you're not actually coming begging him to do something.
Absolutely not. It's quite the opposite. I actually attracting. So I'm omega, I attract the alpha. I'm alpha, I attract the omega. It's not I'm gonna be the alpha and trying to do something. No, I'm the omega and I'm attracting the alpha. I'm putting them together, creating the reality, and somehow on the other side, somebody is doing his job.
When you say, what do you mean when you say alpha and omega?
It's a bond. I think it's a bond, and it has to be in an equal state of energy in order to exchange that energy, that information. It's like it's the truth. I see it as the truth. I mean, I'm looking into the void and I'm talking to him, and I know he's there. And how do we work together from now on? How do we advance? How we pass over it? But not begging and asking. It's a hard point because 2 times I was, how can you do that to me? How can you let that people suffer? Are you not ashamed? What do you do? What is your job? Where are you? What do we suffer so much? That was the first discussion. I was really
So you're very sincere, right? Would that be the right expression? You're extremely sincere and truthful and accurate in your emotion and in your words when you speak.
Yeah. Yes.
And determined.
Yes. It's not going into my mind, into imagining, trying to get something. No, I'm talking, I'm going at God, talking with Him, solving problems. And if it's important, as I said, to evolve, they will intervene. Yes, most definitely. You have to be sincere and have the desire. Desire is very important. Have the desire to reach that communication level and the results afterwards. If they see it's important, I repeat it, they will act.
Yeah.
If it's important for you, it's important for them, is the most important thing for you, then is the most important thing for them too. So you kind of have to create this relationship of depending one of each other, alpha and omega. I just a simple example. So
So with alpha and omega, you mean like two opposites attracting each other?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and they can't help it because they're so magnetic, it
so magnetic.
pulls it
We
together.
pull it together because I'm surprised of seeing so many UFOs fully materialized, whipping around, flying around, spherical objects, so beautiful. I was so happy. 19 minutes with my daughter, and three UFOs came along. I mean, it's just freaking amazing. So yeah, that is the moment I started season 3 because it's very hard. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of practice and discipline and constant meditation. Every time I go to bed, I meditate for at least until I fall asleep. Yeah.
What do? You sit on your bed and
Normal
meditate?
stuff as I did as a kid: astral projection, remote viewing, visiting friends, places, the moon. I like to be on the moon.
And you sit in bed until you fall asleep?
Yeah.
Is that how you
So
do it? Yeah.
that's how I fall, how I go to sleep. Yeah, by meditating, processing, past, present, future, every night. Yeah. It's an addiction. It's a pleasant addiction. Yeah, I like it.
Yes.
I think it is the way how we evolve. I think we have to do this processing stuff every day, especially if we go to sleep. Before we go to sleep,
Why?
because you analyzed what happened, you analyzed the present, and you're analyzing what is gonna happen next. So we do in C5, we like project the events. We kind of project what we want to see. So I do it, and that's like everyday processing and building up the road for tomorrow, for the next year, for the next decade. Every day I make an update.
Is it also for the time when we're asleep and not aware of what we're doing? Does it also help that so that wherever we go while we're sleeping, it's also directed?
It can be. I think this depends on the psychology of the person, what his mindset, and what is his character, what he's willing to do. People are sleeping and have no dreams. I feel sorry for them. But those who have kind of a plan when they go to sleep, that's something else. When I go to sleep, I want to process everything I saw, and I'm gonna see what is happening tomorrow, and I'm gonna see how can I improve my life in the next week. I'm always processing upgrades.
So, have you noticed anything about your consciousness, your brain, your experience expanding by all these practices?
Oh yeah, I feel so free, so free. I mean, nothing can put me down. I don't care what people say. I have my own experience. I have my own talks with God. Do you think your opinion matters to me? No. My mind just. I read books 400, 500, 600 pages, and 8 hours for 400 pages, and it's just so passionate. I mean, I'm so hungry for information, for real events, for real things that happen, and there are a lot of things happening on the planet. A lot of things happening. I have no idea, and yeah, what I'm trying to do now is have a handshake with them, to have really a handshake, and I know they preparing me, because I see certain things. They cannot appear right away in front of me as physical person. I'm not Eisenhower, but they're preparing the road, and I feel that, and they kind of tell to me, be careful, be careful, because it's gonna be an exchange of information. You're gonna have so much information that you're gonna be a different person from then on. You're gonna have a mission, a dedicated mission to share the knowledge that you extracted with us through physical contact. Yeah, I think it's preparing me for that.
So
It's
you're saying
exciting.
that you're expecting that it'll be like a download, so much information in one package.
In one encounter, I believe,
Yeah.
yeah, I believe when we shake hands, I will be connected with the source if they want to, because it's important.
And with the source,
Divine mind,
one mind.
cosmos, so we can
So you think
feel
that
the whole
happens
planet.
through the handshake with
If they want to,
extraterrestrials?
yeah, if they
You
want
think they
to,
can do it?
yeah.
You don't think we have that?
We are not still so much evolved. We still have so much to practice. We just meditate and well, it depends. Okay, now when I see people levitating, when I see people reading minds, yeah, it can be already happening. Yeah, but not, yeah, it already happens. Not to me. Uh,
You can't
let's chill.
meditate yet,
Let's chill.
levitate yet.
No, I'm fascinated by the levitation, but then you have to eat certain things and have a certain program. You can do it, of course, but when I was a kid, I had some experiences. I felt connected with the center of the galaxy. I felt everywhere in the same time. And every time when I accessed that point, I was like, somebody took a hammer and bam, poof. I mean, I had an accident, I had a fall, I had problems. I said, okay, this is a dangerous feeling. I mean, it's a dangerous situation. But it feels so good. It feels so harmonistic and in contact with everything. It was like perfection, living the perfection existence, all of it in the same time. I was flying, flying.
And then every time after you had that click where you felt like you're part of everything, like you're oneness and in the center of the galaxy,
Yeah,
after that you always
yeah. When
it
I accessed that point of singularity and complete harmonious feeling everything, something bad happened afterwards. I was like punished. I felt like punishment, and not
where,
once but multiple
where do
times.
you think that comes from?
Bad entities that try to control human mind.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. Okay, so when you talked about reading the book, 600 pages in 8 hours,
400 page in 8 hours. Yeah,
400 pages in 8 hours, were you saying that the book expanded your mind, or
I was living the book.
you were living the book?
Yeah,
So books were alive for you and you were.
yeah. I mean, I had to know the right information, so I didn't bought every. You have a lot of books on the internet, but I specifically bought because I knew only 10% what it is on the market is true. So I was careful what to read first. After watching the Disclosure Project and all those interviews back in 2001, what happened in 2001, I was fascinating to get books and start reading about stuff. So I got all the books for Dr. Stephen Gere at that moment, what he had, and I was start reading. I bought a certain moment like 7 books, and I was going outside with a friend for a coffee, and I was explaining to him. People look so strange at me. Oh, bro, I bought 7 books like that big, and I can't wait to read them. It's about that, and I'm gonna find so much more. Imagine how explosion of knowledge I will have. People will look at me, okay, this is a freak, you know, whatever. And I was so engaged in finding out throughout his books, because he he's explaining in his books how this interaction happened. I didn't have any interaction until then. But after reading his books and engaging in that, how he did it, I felt very confident. Yeah, very confident. Well,
So what do you think the most important, biggest message is that humanity needs to hear through you?
I'm not different. I'm just a normal human being as anybody else. What I can do, everybody can do, right? It's about determination. And I think because of this, I have no actually problems, no financial problems, no bad friends, no bad work. Nothing is bad. I'm satisfied and happy, and it comes. I've read the law of attraction, I use some techniques, and it worked. The message would be, how should I say it? So the message that I'm getting a lot is educate the children upon this. Because for us human beings who are filtered, it's very hard for us after a certain age to evolve. But kids have that magic moment in their lifetime until a certain age of, let's say, 12, 10, 12 years old, where they can feel the center of the universe. And if you can work with them and enlighten them, okay, it's not just planet Earth and it's not just humans, that's all other planets and other humans, other entities. Do you want to see them? Because they want to play. And they have started, they play with us. So I would say we should educate the children upon this. It's much easier, and it's like that. It's a direct response. When children are involved, it's a direct response. I feel it that way. It's always sticking to my mind, to educate the children. That's why I did this experiment with my daughter. Let's see if it's working. And in 19 minutes, 3 phones in front of us. So I was almost going to catch it. That's amazing stuff. I had so much energy to start the season 3 of C5 workshop. I said, oh wow, I'm obliged to do the C5 season 3 now. And I'm gonna even go harder. Oh yeah. Yeah, we did got a couple of C5 events. This time it's a bit hard now with the weather and so, but people are pouring in. I'm now called from different parts of the globe, trying to get me on their interviews, try to organize events, try to organize some broadcasts with other C5 ambassadors. So I think we're going to do a great job. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited at the moment when I will be able to organize these events. Portugal, Spain, Norway, China, Tokyo, whatever, because we have groups everywhere. And I think it's the way of the future. Yeah, it must happen. It must happen. We're doing just the work. I hope we do enough. We don't do enough. We have to do more. But that's why children are important. We don't have to work so much with them. Their desire, because she was calling them, please come to us. Let me see you in a childish way. 19 minutes later, 3 phones in front of us. What the heck? This is perfect, true knowledge and how the consciousness works with us humans and other entities. Do you imagine? I mean, just making a wish as a kid and making a wish, yeah. Having these 3 entities. So friendly. I mean, I felt so friendly. I think I would hug them to death. I would not release them. It's a great feeling, yeah. It's amazing. You evolve so much. Nothing can stop you anymore, Not even the military. I will take them on if it's necessary. But I'm not afraid. I have so much knowledge to share. I have so much amazing experiences that I insist with him. Let's do it. Every time let's do it. Come, let's do it. I'm working with him to actually summon UFOs. We had some footage. I still have to check it out. I'm not sure what we saw. But we saw objects. But because it's so much, it's so everywhere. It sometimes takes time to analyze all of this. Yeah, it takes time.
Okay.
It's so great. I don't think I will be able to do something else without this. I will be, there is a way. Everybody has its way, and it's a specific design for everybody. You have to take it and grab it because it is for you. Do it. Nobody will stop you. It is important for you. It is important for them. if you want to be a teacher in C5 or C5 ambassador, they want you there. They want to interact. They will play with you, but please insist. Be a bit disciplined. Be true to yourself. Have the desire. You have to desire that for yourself. Like I cannot breathe without it. I mean, for me, it was like, what is the existence? What should I exist? Without it, maybe I would be in a clochard. I don't know. I don't know what can be, but yeah, it is just amazing. Because also the background, my father military and my mother secretary at the state, kind of build up the confidence in as a kids in us. Like we're not so afraid. And that builds up your confidence, and you really go jackpot. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're very much welcome. Thank you for inviting me. It's been great.
Hello, lovelies. Well, it's great to be back on again around the full moon. Powerful, powerful time. I've had some interesting things happen in my life. I've just done a whole month on ivermectin, and honestly, I felt really clear now inside. It's definitely made a difference anyway. Because as many of us know that there's a lot of talk about parasites at the moment, and ivermectin is the only anti-parasite that goes through the blood-brain barrier to remove all parasites. So that can be bacteria, fungi, intestinal parasites, even tiny microbial parasites that are in the body. And the way I see it is we deworm our pets, we worm our kids when they're young, and we don't tend to do ourselves. So anyway, I feel great after doing that month, and I think I've lost a little bit of weight, which is wonderful. So it's getting rid of inflammation too, which is fantastic. And I've just last weekend been on a wonderful healing C5 retreat as one of the facilitators. There were 4 of us, and it was absolutely wonderful. We had the honor of having Marcel Hoff, Wim Hof's brother, with us doing breathwork, and who he travels around with, a wonderful lady called Gina, who was doing cacao ceremonies. And I took my gong. I've got a titanium gong called Metatron's gong. It's got Metatron's cube on it. It is titanium, which of course really goes with the human body, hence why doctors, and people have, when they have joints done, it's often titanium. And so I did gong baths, and I took people through a beautiful healing session, and at night we did C5 contacting our beautiful sky friends, which was a blessing. They always turn up, and it's just so wonderful. So anyway, today we're talking about human consciousness, and what a fascinating subject. So I been thinking about that, and I wrote down a list of things to think about, what we can do with our consciousness. That's what I wanted to look at. What can we do with our consciousness, which affects us in real time here, but it also has an effect on a multi-dimensional level through the other planes, the astral planes, and the other dimensional spaces, or the quantum field, or the unified field, however you want to call it. So I made a list up, and then I thought, oh, I'm actually going to ask AI and see just what AI comes up with, to see if it can go expand on, where I'm thinking of, and because I know what I can do with mine, and it's not just in this realm. And that's taken many years of practice and hence why I can do distant healing immediately and all sorts of other stuff. But yeah, I thought I'd ask AI. So a bit of fun, but actually AI was very good in answering. But in some of the answers that came through, and I'm going to read them in a minute, some of the answers came through, I know we can go much deeper and do much more than some of these answers. So what I asked was, my very first question, if I just read it out, because I like to test AI. So the very first thing was, please list all the multidimensional things a human can do with their consciousness. So it was interesting. Basic, the list that came first, and if you use AI, this is also perhaps will help you to not go with what first comes up. So the list was, and I got many of these myself when I wrote my own list, humans can engage their consciousness in very multidimensional ways, including perception, interpreting sensory information from the environment, which involves seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling. And there was a whole list of imagination, emotional processing, reflection, problem solving, dreaming, meditation, intuition, empathy, spiritual exploration. Well, I like that one. And I thought, well, I want to know, because I just know we can go much deeper. And I wanted to see what AI could do. So I went, go deeper. And what came up was, delving deeper into multidimensional capabilities of human consciousness, we can explore how each aspect influences our experiences and interactions. And so what came up on that one was enhanced perception, creative imagination, complex emotional stuff, deep reflection, advanced problem solving, lucid dreaming, mindfulness and meditation, intuition, decision making, empathetic engagement, transcendental experiences. I like those because I like delving into other realms. And then it says at the end there, by understanding these layers of consciousness, individuals can enhance their personal development, improve relationships, and contribute to a more interconnected society. Each dimension allows humans to navigate not only their internal landscapes, but also the complexities of the external world. Interesting. But I said, let's go deeper. So I put then, go even deeper and more expansive, because we know we can expand our consciousness out to many, many, many other layers and dimensional spaces. So that's what I did. This is what it came back with. Going even deeper into the multidimensional capabilities, human consciousness reveals intricate layers and intersections of cognitive, emotional, social, spiritual dimensions. Here's an expansive look at how these factors interplay and influence personal and collective experiences. Multisensory perception. Humans can develop synesthetic experiences where stimulation of one sensory pathway leads to automatic experiences in another, e.g. seeing colours when hearing music. This enriches creativity, enhancing the perception of beauty in everyday life. So I thought about that one. I thought, yeah, that is actually really good. But again, we can go deeper on that. So, you know, when you're looking at a leaf or a tree, you can go deeper with your consciousness into the subject, the said subject. So a leaf or a tree or a flower or anything else, actually, you can go into it with your consciousness and become it. So when I interact with trees, especially when I'm visiting somewhere else, all I do is put my hand on the tree and I ask the tree to show me what it may have witnessed over its lifetime. So I'm tuning in, even though I'm touching the tree, I'm actually tuning into the tree with my consciousness. And the tree, and then start to get images building of what the tree may have witnessed. So in a way, my energetics is becoming one with the tree's energetics. So, you know, we're blending in the field. This is how I like to work. So yeah, the tree often gives me images of what it may have witnessed over time, and I don't pick, you know, what it shows me. I just randomly allow it to show me whatever it wants to. So that's really interesting. So seeing, you know, different colors in, you know, sometimes we can look at I don't know, we can look at a beautiful sunset and we can see amazing colours in it, or you can look at the sea during the day and you can actually start to see lots of other colours in there and possibly even hear stuff. So our consciousness expands out in many, many directions. Obviously, they were saying about, or AI was saying about listening to music and seeing colours. You know, you can listen to music and the words in the music, and then you can get like a video playing out in your mind of your perception of the song's words and the song. On another dimensional level, I remember being in the UK and in a place near where my parents live or lived, which was called Main Castle. It's in Dorset, and I'd gone up there for a walk, and my consciousness actually tapped into another timeline, because what I heard was a woman scream, and I looked around me. There's no one around, no one at all. And then as I carried on walking across the grass, I realized, or I got shown in my mind, that I'm actually walking on a mud path, but in this realm I'm walking on the grass. So I just carried on and I could hear, so my consciousness had literally tapped into another timeline. I could hear chinking of metal, I could hear people talking, I could hear animals. And literally this was just a field with nothing else on it, but it was an old castle, an ancient castle that reached back over 6,000 years. And so in my mind, I'm seeing, or in my consciousness, I'm seeing I'm walking down this muddy path through these huts. And again, I hear this lady scream. And I knew then, the second time I heard it, I thought, okay, I've tapped into this, because this woman needs help and she's stuck. So that's exactly what I did. I did a full clearing of the whole castle to move her over, because she obviously could sense that I could help her. So that's what I did. I did a full clearing, calling in north, south, east, west, and other energies, and it was a very beautiful experience, actually. But it just goes to show that your consciousness can tap into other things without you even trying sometimes. Complex creative processes, which was another thing. So it says creativity can be seen as a multifaceted process involving divergent thinking, generating multiple ideas, and convergent thinking, narrowing down ideas. This duality allows for innovation, whether in art, technology, or social reform, and can lead to collaborative projects that leverage diverse perspectives. Well, for you, all of you that don't know, I actually used to be an artist, and I'm getting the urge to paint again too, by the way. But when I was doing art, I could get totally lost in the painting, or in the painting process. So it was like I'm painting, so I've got one of my part of my consciousness is here, you know, the technical things that I maybe needed to do, but in other areas I tapped into another realm, another dimension, or another space, or the field, and I'm bringing down energy that actually went into the painting. So tapping into those creative spaces, you know, and getting ideas, and this is how inventors work. And it's fascinating stuff. Once you tap into the field of all possibilities, you can bring down information. But painting for me was like being in a meditation state. So being in that state, you really do expand your consciousness out, and you are able to tap into those other forms of information that are there. So that, inventors that bring down things, or people have a fantastic idea about something to create for the future, like an invention. I do remember that John and I were driving along one day, and we got this, I just got this download of information about, this was a few years ago, about creating a box with soil in it and seeds in it, and the instructions on a website, so that people could grow their own food, or if they wanted to, flowers, whatever. But it was mainly for people to grow their own food, and it was like a startup box, if you like. We never did anything with it. And then about 7 months down the track, we saw those gardening pods, which you could buy with soil in it, seeds in it, and all that. So I know that many people all over the world probably got the same download or a similar download that came in at that time. We didn't do anything with it. Many other people probably did do something with it, and hence why we saw those pods arrive now. So fascinating. And I do believe that actually many people get given the same idea, and some people run with it and some people don't do anything about it. The next one was deep emotional intelligence. Beyond basic emotional processing, emotional intelligence encompasses self-regulation, social skills, and empathy. This enables individuals to navigate complex social environments, resolve conflicts, and foster deeper connections with others, leading to more harmonious communities. This is self-evaluation. What if your thoughts are getting all negative? It's great to be fully aware and notice them. Notice your own thoughts. Where are they leading? And then you can change that thought pattern around. And for some, it takes years of training to be fully aware of your own thoughts, not let your mind wander. And then, if something does start coming in which you don't want to think about, or it's negative, or it's not true but it's coming in, you can change it. We've got to remember we're powerful beings and we can change things. So emotionally, if you get, I don't know, a burst of anger or a burst of emotional stuff, always check in with yourself. Where's that coming from? Why am I feeling like that? What can I do about it? Because there are always ways of clearing that energy. Or if you want to sit in it and go, actually, what's this all about? Because we're all clearing things at the moment. Stuff is coming up for everybody. Metacognition comes up next. This refers to the awareness and understanding of one's own thought process. This is basically what we just said as well. By engaging in metacognitive strategies, individuals can enhance learning, adapt their thinking styles, and develop critical thinking skills that can be applied across various disciplines. So I would say I'm a critical thinker. I do not follow what other people think. I listen, and then I tune into myself. Does that feel right for me? If it does, I go, yeah, that feels great. If it doesn't, I don't say anything, because everybody's on their own journey, and I will just think to myself, okay, well, that just doesn't resonate with me. And it's good to, again, what I said before, really, just be aware of what you're thinking. You can change your thought patterns. You can open up new neural pathways within your brain. And while you're opening up new ones, you can actually close down old ones that are no longer needed. And when I think of my own journey, I've never been a real negative person anyway, but there has been moments when I have dipped down into either anxiety or fear. Certainly when I was about 13, I used to get anxiety. And I remember actually thinking to myself back then, why am I worrying about something in the future when it hasn't even happened yet? What a waste of energy. And that, I even thought that when I was about 13, that just, I think I was probably being helped, but that came into my consciousness. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's so true. Why am I worrying about something that might or might not happen in the future? What a total waste of energy. So I started controlling my future thoughts, if you like. And instead of worrying about something that hasn't happened yet, start to create. So picture what you would like to happen. So there's so much we can do with our consciousness. Spiritual and existential inquiry. Consciousness engages with existential questions about meaning, purpose, and the nature of reality. This can lead individuals to seek philosophical wisdom, engage in spiritual practices, or explore various religion traditions, contributing to a rich tapestry of diverse beliefs and values. Now, I really like this spiritual one because I delve into all sorts of spiritual realms. I'm in a physical mediumship group, and we are doing transfiguration, and you can see spirit coming down and altering the face, or building a mask, an energetic mask over the face, and you can even see the spirit eyes open. So I love that. And of course, you know, for ET contact and contact into other realms, if your consciousness is open to it, you're more than likely going to experience it. So yeah, we're all multidimensional, and it really depends on whether you tap into that multidimensional side of yourself to experience a much wider range of experiences in this life, remembering again that we are really powerful beings. We have been dumbed down over the years and been led to believe that we're not very powerful, and that's all about control. Whereas actually, once you start believing that you are a powerful being, you can be. I remember years ago that me and my friend started doing experiments through Zoom. So she'd be sat in her house, which would be, say, a 30-minute drive away from where I lived. And what we would do is we would light a candle in each other's room, and the other one would go into deep meditation while the other one would blow the candle, but set the intention that they're blowing the candle in the other person's house. And so the deep meditation state, they'd have their eyes open, so they're watching their candle, because if you ever stare into a candle and the flame, it can take you into an altered state. So staring at the candle, which, you know, would be just up high, you know, straight up. And then once we started blowing our own candle, you could actually see my friend's candle start to flicker. So you know, it proved to us that we can take our consciousness anywhere if we want to. So at the same time, being here, being fully present, blowing the candle, also round where my friend was, blowing the candle there. And I find that I do this when I'm doing a group healing session. I can split my consciousness, if you like, into several different I don't know what you would call it, forms, or go to each person at the same time, if you know what I mean. So it's fascinating stuff. Collective consciousness, group stuff. Now, what can we do when we are in a collective group? Oh my goodness, we can do so much. It's so much more powerful when you're doing group work. There's one I'm thinking about is there's a group called the Arcturians. I can't remember the founder's name at the moment, but anyway, he's in the States. And he was doing, or the group that I connected to a few years ago were doing weekly meditations. And so we would meditate on a weekly basis to create a city of light over certain cities. And we'd be doing it for weeks, months. And what eventually started happening was that the crime rate went down. People became happier. The more negative side of society started moving out, and more positive, creative people started moving in. It was amazing to actually see, and it was proven. And what happened was, because a lot of us don't do it anymore, the group sort of dwindled away. After we stopped, the crime rate all started to come back again. So the collective consciousness of us all meditating at the same time, creating this city of light over a city, created such a powerful high vibe in that city that, you know, the crime rates went down and everything. So again, we're really powerful people. If we actually get together in groups, we can change the world, literally. So altered states of consciousness. I love this because that's what I do in deep meditation. And when I'm doing a healing on people, go into a deep altered state of consciousness. This is what it says here. These can be achieved through various means such as meditation, breath work, psychedelics, or fasting. Such states can lead to profound insights, altered perceptions of time and space, and experiences of unity with the cosmos, often resulting in lasting changes in attitude and behavior. Wonderful. So altered states of consciousness, if you ever meditate, do OBE, out of body experiences, oh my goodness, physical mediumship, just mental mediumship, where you are connecting with your consciousness up to the realms of the spirit world and to connect with loved ones. With your consciousness doing psychic work, it's another altered state. There's just so many, you know, you can be in a float tank and be in an altered state. So yeah, so many different ways. And, you know, going on a multi-dimensional meditation journey, hypnosis is just such a lot of different ways. Connecting into, if you're into ET contact, connecting into, once you've done the CTS and sent energy or light up into the cosmos and you come across a craft, you can, with your consciousness, go inside and communicate with other beings. And the same in multidimensional spaces here. Inner earth, the nature beings, you know, or spirit. So many different ways of, you know, being in these altered states of consciousness. I love all that stuff. Here we go in integrative healing practices. This is what AI says. Consciousness can also be harnessed for healing through therapies that engage in mind-body connection, such as somatic experiencing or energy healing modalities. This holistic approach recognizes that emotional and psychological well-being directly influences physical health. So as a healer, you can do so much when you're tuning into someone else and facilitating healing. You know, when I work with people via Zoom that might be in another country, I am able to tune into their inner child. So things that may have happened when they were children, that has caused a emotional imbalance or a traumatic experience that has caused an emotional imbalance. Whenever anyone gets an emotional imbalance, often it then starts to develop in the physical body and creating some form of pain or something. So being able to get to the very seed or the spark of that problem, and again, my consciousness travels down when I'm tuning into that person to certain areas in childhood that is presenting itself at that time, and then I talk to their inner child, and I've got several different ways of healing that. Another one is that sometimes we bring through cellular memory or emotional memory from past life trauma that may have happened. So, you know, I tune in to see if it's connected to inner child or past life, or is there something else going on? And if I get past life, then I ask my higher self, if you like, or my team, as they call them, I call them, to show me the very beginning point, the very spark, the life that this energy was first created. And they take me to that very beginning point, and I often see how that person perhaps died in that lifetime, or a traumatic event that happened in that lifetime. Sometimes I see that person as the same sex, sometimes I see them as the opposite sex, and I get a feeling of what is happening. And again, I'm able to change and heal that life. And it's amazing how you see that the knock-on of energy that comes right the way up into this lifetime, releasing all of that energy that has been carried forward. It's massive, and it's amazing to see. Yeah, so there's many other things, you know, that you can tap into with your consciousness if you're working with someone else for healing. The ancestral lines is another one, going down both mum and dad's side and asking if there's anything there that needs to be shifted, whether it's to do with health, whether it's to do with old programs, old beliefs, you know, all that stuff. And if there is anything there for it to be presented, so you can then either draw it out or start healing it in whatever way that is for you. Yeah, I mean, there's also other ways of what I call visitors, and that's spirit that haven't gone into the light, so to speak, and they're stuck, and they often look for people that can help them. And this is energies that have jumped into a person's aura that shouldn't be there. And with my consciousness, I am able to open the channels to remove them out of someone's auric field. So there's so much, honestly, there's so much. You can tap into advanced healing energies and bring that down. You can you know, shift timelines. You can do all sorts for the healing, or to trigger the healing in another person. There's much more to it. It would take me forever if I carried on. Let's have a look at the next one. Oh yeah, narrative construction. Humans have the ability to construct personal narratives that shape their identities. This is a dynamic process where individuals can reframe their past experiences, thereby altering how they view themselves and their potential, which is crucial for personal growth and resilience. So looking at how you view yourself, and basically what you make up about yourself, or what you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself, you can change it. If you've got negative thoughts about yourself, you can change it to positive ones to reshape the way you come across or the way you are. Again, it can take it can take for some years of training. For others, it can take a few days of just training yourself to think differently. And it has a knock-on effect right the way through. Here's another one. Environmental and ecological awareness. A deepening consciousness can foster a sense of stewardship for the planet, engaging with ecological issues, understanding the interconnectedness of life, and advocating for sustainable practices reflecting on expanded consciousness that prioritizes collective well-being over individual gain. Again, thinking of the whole, thinking of all of planet Earth with that more expanded awareness, instead of being in, a lot of people are in their own little box, in their own little world, thinking about the whole of everything, and doing what you can to, you know, help that whole, that unity consciousness. Obviously we know where we're going with the new earth, and it is all about that. It is all about that expanded awareness to include the whole, still being sovereign within yourself, but including the whole as you move forward in life, and picturing the whole of the earth being healed, or you know, the whole of humanity being uplifted, bringing in the new earth more quickly than perhaps what it would if we didn't do anything like that. There's so many different things. I take people through a new earth connection, which we go into the future, into the new earth. People see what their new earth looks like, and we bring the blueprint of that back down and overlay it over now. And I do this, and I know that every time I do this with a group or individually, it's another piece of that puzzle being put into place to bring that new earth in, to anchor it in to the here and now. Yeah, so amazing, different types of consciousness. Now, AI might not have picked up everything. So if there's anything that you know to be more than what I've just listed out there, then please write in the comments, and perhaps we can do another talk about this with, you know, the comments that have written, or any questions that may be put in, to go deeper. It's good to go deeper. So I am going to say bless you all. I'm going to pull a card for everybody, and we'll just see what comes out for the group. And let's just shuffle, and we're going to ask for a card for the group, and I'm going to take one off the top, and we'll just see what comes. Something that we all need to know, please. Okie dokie. Let's see. Actually, two flipped over. I am going to take one off the top, like I said. I'll read those others out now. Unveiling. Very interesting. Time to dazzle others with your brilliance. Show your work to others. Positive feedback will encourage you on your path of creativity. So it is time for us to step up and start getting out there, doing our work. Be seen. Go and be seen. Show your work to others. Get out there and start doing whatever you do. It is time for us to stand in our knowing and in our power, and for us to move forward like that and not be frightened about what other people think. It's time to be seen, to stand up and do the work that we've come here to do. So that was the one off the top. And funnily enough, we've got woman that's come out here, so a feminine energy surrounding this situation at present. And wait, now is not the best time for this move. The energies will be more aligned at a later date, and things will flow more smoothly then. So whatever this means for you in your life, have a little think about it. There might be something that you perhaps have been wanting to do in your life, and perhaps right now might not be the ideal time. I know that some of the planets are in retrograde, which often throws a spanner in the works. So just have a think about that. So it was weight and a woman influence on you. So I'm going to leave that with you. It can mean many, many things. So I'm not going to go into exactly what it means. I know that it will mean something personal for you because it fell out, and it's an important message for you to listen to. So it was wait. I'll just say it again. Wait. Now is not the best time for this move. The energies will be more aligned at a later date and things will flow more smoothly then. And a woman is surrounding, or a feminine energy is surrounding this situation at present. So I'm going to say bless you all and thank you so much for listening and for being here with us. And I'm sending you lots and lots of love from New Zealand. Bye for now. Bye.
Om Shanti, Om Shanti. It happened on that day. You took out your colors and your ink and your clay. You painted a picture, formed an image of the one you thought you were. And I was there, the shining memorial. Yes, I was there. Do you dare speak my name? Yes, I was there, the shining memorial.